All right, guys, it is that time. It is time for my top 10 cases for the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Now, before we get started, a couple little disclaimers. Number one, all links to all cases, as well as if I did a video for it, are down in the description below. Number two, this video is not sponsored by anybody. No company knows this video is coming out. No company knows if their case is or is not on this list. Nobody knows anything except me up until this video goes live when you guys see it. And number three, please, everybody be respectful to each other down in the comments below. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this list. Definitely let me know down in the comments below what you guys think and what your favorite cases are. So let's go ahead and get started with a few honorable mentions. Now, the first honorable mention is the Benks Armor Air. Now, this is the Aurora version. They do have a bunch of different colors and options for it. This case is really good. Any case that's going to be on this list, whether an honorable mention or in the top 10, is a case you can definitely feel comfortable picking up. These are all excellent cases. But the reason this is an honorable mention and not in the top 10, this is a great case. It's got good MagSafe, nice camera protection right there. My only gripes with it are that, number one, it is a little bit difficult to put on and take off. And number two, especially since the camera control button here, I'm worried that this little part right here may end up breaking at some point because of taking it off, putting it on, and this aramid fiber is a thin material, so that just worries me right there. If they didn't have the camera control button, this would have been in the top 10, but because of that, this part here does just make me a little bit nervous. And also, of course, you're not going to get any screen protection with this, just a little bit of camera protection, but this case is not there for drops, anything like that. Otherwise, though, it has a really good fit. It is a super tight fit on there. Like I said, a little difficult to take off. You do get a closed bottom and closed top, which you don't get with a lot of those other super minimal cases. But all in all, this is a great option. I did definitely have to put this in the honorable mentions. Next honorable mention, we have the Rhinoshield SolidSuit with the camera control button. Now, the reason this case is in honorable mentions and it's not in the top 10 is just because of the Rhinoshield issue that this case has this year, last year, and all that. And that is, this case is pretty slippery. So there's really no grip on it at all. I definitely had this case slide a little bit in my hands before. Otherwise, though, it's a really good case. You are getting nice camera protection and screen protection. You are going to get good MagSafe on here. We can go ahead and bring over our MagSafe mount. That is really good right there, so you get nice MagSafe. And it's a good camera control button on here. The other issue I have is that when this case is off, the camera control button does pop out of the case. It's not built in, which is something I would really like to see with a camera control button, because if it pops out and you lose it, you just lost a huge feature of the case. But the camera control on here is very good. It is going to give you very good responsiveness. Everything is really nice with it. You can go ahead and take pictures, do whatever you want. And it's a great responsive button. It's not going to give you any real lag or anything like that. It is just about up there with Spigen, with Apple, and all of that. So it's a really good button, but just the fact that it does fall out if you give it a little tap when the case is off really bothers me. And the fact that this case is slippery. That's why it was not able to make it into my top 10. But still, otherwise, a great case. Now, the last honorable mention we have is going to be the Arc Pulse. I love this thing. It's for some people, it's not for others. Some people love it and hate it. It just really depends on if you're a super minimal case type of person. This is probably the most minimal case that you can get for the iPhone, but it is amazing. I mean, it's going to protect your phone just about from any side. Depends on how you drop it. Really doesn't matter. Any which way you end up dropping this thing, it's going to fall on the case as opposed to the phone. The only reason this was not mentioned in my top 10 list is because it's not a full coverage case. So you're not getting any protection from scratches or anything on the sides or anywhere else, not on the bottom, not on the top. This is meant for those people who don't really drop their phones and you just want a little bit of protection. If you do drop it, this is going to give you that protection. They say it's rated up to 10 feet, so that's really good. But that is not going to cover you from scratches. So that's definitely why it's not able to be in my top 10 list, as well as the fact that some battery packs and things don't sit flush with the phone. So that is definitely something to note there. They are still all going to work. As you guys can see, it is charging there. But the fact that it doesn't sit fully flush definitely may bother some people. All your accessories work, but unfortunately, that's just one of those things. Otherwise, it's a very, very good case. Unfortunately, it just will not make it into my top 10 because of those things. Now, time to get into that top 10 list. Now, number 10 is a case that actually took this list by storm. I have never had this case before. I'm not sure if they've made it in previous years, but I ended up picking it up. I've gotten some recommendations and things, and I was like, you know what, let me check it out. And this case blew my mind. I absolutely had to put it in the top 10, and we're taking a look at the Ringke Rugged. Now, Ringke cases, they do have the Onyx, they have some other cases, but they don't always have the best fit. They're a little loose, all that. This case fits really, really well. So you're getting a nice tight fit on here. You're getting good buttons. They are built in, but they're nice and textured, so they're gonna click well. You are going to get good MagSafe on here, so you can trust this on your car mounts, your nightstand chargers. You're getting a full covered camera ring there, good protective corners, a super good fit all the way around, and all around just a really, really nice case. It has good grip going on the sides, these little micro dots right there. On the back is nice and textured, and you're also gonna get a good protection for the camera, as well as a pretty decent screen lip. Now, I do wish the screen lip was a little bit taller, and that's why it's not higher on my top 10 list, but this is an excellent case. I can absolutely recommend it, and it had to be in this list. So that is why the Ringke Rugged is number 10. Now, coming in at number 9, we have the Ryan London Leather Shell Case Metal. This case, originally, when I reviewed it, I had the camera control area actually rip on me during the video, and I wasn't a huge fan. But Ryan London came back with a camera control button version of this case, and it is really good. So, first of all, you're getting that nice full grain leather. You are getting metal camera ring and metal buttons going around, which is really nice. You're getting a nice fit all the way around on here. Super tight fit. The corners are on there really good. You're getting good MagSafe on here. Nice clicky metal buttons. And the camera control button is really, really good. So let's go ahead and open up our camera control. And as you guys can see, sensitive, no glitching, no issues. Everything is really, really good with it. A nice sapphire camera control button. All around, this is a great leather case. And it had to be in my top 10. Now, it's not going to be too high in the top 10 because there is another leather case that just has better quality leather all the way around. We'll get to that shortly. But I absolutely had to put it on here because of that new camera control button, the way that the leather feels. Honestly, though, if they didn't have the camera control button on this, I probably would not have mentioned this case in the top 10 just because I had that experience where this area right here on the non-camera control version did break on me in the middle of my video. So that is definitely something to note, but the camera control version you can absolutely pick up and trust that it's gonna be a great case. Now, it also does come in a few different color options, so you can match whatever color you like the best with your phone. So that is why the Ryan London Shell Case Metal is on my top 10 list at number 9. Now, number 8 is a case that's always been on my top 10 list. It's a solid case. You can absolutely pick one of these up and you know exactly what you're getting. And of course, we were talking about the Dbrand Grip. Now, before, this case has been a little higher on my list, but it doesn't matter. It is on the top 10 because it is a really, really good case. So first of all, you get crazy customization with this because of the skins. Now, I am using a skin here. The back of this case is black. You can just peel the skin off and everything is fine. But you are going to get pretty decent MagSafe here. Of course, you're getting those really nice pronounced grips on the left-hand side. The right side doesn't have those, which I wish it did over here and right there. But they did come out with a camera control version that is pretty good. Now, this case, at least on my experience, isn't going to be as good as some of the other camera control buttons, but as you guys can see, it still works just fine. Everything is pretty good with it. I just wish the camera control button was a little bit more sensitive. When it comes to the other buttons, they are decently clicky. The action button right here, I do wish was a little bit more clicky. It is not as clicky as the other buttons, but you can still feel it. Everything is fine. It clicks with confidence. Really no issues right there. Now, of course, it is going to be a super grippy case. That's why it's called the Grip. You're getting this really nice texture all the way around this case where no matter what you have on your hands, you can absolutely bet that this case will not slip out of your hands ever. So taking a look at that MagSafe, the skins do make the MagSafe a little bit worse. So that is definitely something to note, but it's still very, very manageable. As you guys can see, it is holding my charger up, so that is fine. Now, you're not getting a huge camera bump right there, but that is because you get this nice lip right there. So you can set this down and you'll be fine. And this is also the only case on this list that is not going to rock at the camera bump. So that is really good right there. Now, all around, very, very good case. I just wish that it had a little bit better MagSafe. I do wish that the camera control button was a little bit better. But otherwise, I love the Dbrand Grip. This case stays in my rotation, and that's absolutely why it had to be in my top 10 list at number 8. Now, next up at number 7, we have the Bullstrap Contemporary case. This is my favorite leather case for the iPhones. I love the quality. Bullstrap has the absolute best leather on the market for cases, hands down. You're getting that super nice full grain leather, a nice leather camera ring. You're getting metal buttons that are nice and clicky. You're getting a good cutout for the camera control button right there, so it can easily be accessed really with no issues at all. And of course, that is the iPhone's camera control button, so everything is going to work. You're getting no sharp edges there, a nice groove, and all around, this is an amazing leather case. Whenever I want to go out somewhere, for example, last night I went out somewhere nice and I had the Bullstrap Contemporary on because it's so classy. Of course, you're getting a really good fit all the way around. It's going to have a nice MagSafe strength on there, so it's absolutely going to pick up your charger if you wanted to. It'll work just fine in your car. And of course, that full grain leather is going to eventually show a patina. This one doesn't have it developed yet, but it's starting. And I really love this case. It's just amazing to feel it. It smells like a leather factory, as if you were just walking in somewhere. You just get that hit of leather. As soon as you open the box for this case, it smells amazing. All around, a very solid case. After Bullstrap closed in the bottom of this case, it was over for other leather cases, to be honest. This thing is incredible. Absolutely had to be in my top 10 list. Now, coming in at number 6, we have the Phone Rebel Air 2. This thing is my favorite budget case. It is incredible. I mean, you're getting a extremely good fit on here. Bottom, top. They thought about us, and they give you those nice flat edges, but the corners are a little bit higher. You get those claws, as they call them, so you can definitely set this down on its screen. You'll be fine, but swiping is a breeze on here because the edges where you swipe are all flush with your phone, so that way you get no issue swiping. You are getting built-in buttons, but they are clicky. The camera control cutout is nice and smooth. It has a nice groove into there, so you can access your camera control button with zero issues, and everything is really good. You're getting those little grip spikes right here on both sides that are really, really good. The corners are gonna have extra protection on them. Everything is really good. All around, an excellent case. I've used this thing all the time. It's in my rotation constantly. Of course, you're getting camera protection there. I already showed you guys the screen. All around, an excellent case. And for the price of this case, you are getting a screen protector with it as well. This case is under 30 bucks, and the screen protector, of course, tempered glass from Phone Rebel. All around great. So when you buy this, it's a one-stop shop. You get your case, you get your screen protector, and you are good to go. So I love the Phone Rebel Air 2. It absolutely had to be in my top 10 list. Top 5, let's go. Coming in at number 5, we have the Phone Rebel Gen 6, the Air 2's bigger brother. So the reason my phone is not in here yet is because I wanted to show you one of my biggest gripes with the case, and that's going to be these little screws right here. I think these are unnecessary. I really wish that Phone Rebel would remove these and just let you interchange the hardware just by popping it in and popping it out. But all around, that doesn't really bother me too much because they fixed it to where these screws do not unscrew by themselves anymore. So you're getting replaceable camera ring, replaceable buttons, the replaceable logo here on the back. And let me just show you guys. Let's go ahead and put this case in here real quick. And this thing has an amazing tight fit on here. Everything works really, really well. Around your buttons is nice and tight. Bottom, top, everything is good. They fixed a few of the issues I had with it. Last year, they did have those claws on the back that I'm not a huge fan of. I'm glad they finally took those away. And you do still have the claws on the front. So just like on the Air 2, you're getting that screen protection from those, but your sides, bottom, and top are nice and flush, so you can easily swipe. Of course, you can set this down on its face. You'll be fine there. You are going to get camera protection right there, of course, with that metal camera ring. Now, they do have one that now has a kickstand that you can replace, so it'll have an open kickstand there. They do have one that kind of covers the camera ring more, makes it more individual with the Ultra. And of course, you're getting those grip spikes on the side. You're getting really good clicky metal buttons. Phone Rebel probably has the best buttons on the market. They're super clicky and they're wider than some other cases as well. The MagSafe on this case is excellent. It's going to pick up the charger with no problems at all. You are going to get some fingerprinting on here because it is aramid fiber, but that is what it is. That's kind of what you can expect with aramid fiber. Now, they also refined it to where the bottom is more open, so your thicker head cables do fit in here a lot better than previous generations where it was a lot more narrow, where you could barely fit any of the thick cables in there. And then, of course, around your camera control button, accurate cutout there. You can easily go ahead and access your camera control button with no issues. Everything works just fine. The cutout is really good. Now, just a little side note. I know some of you guys are like, I'm not buying any cases with camera control buttons, but there are really, really good cases out there that don't have the button. Some are even better than cases that do have the button. You guys will see when it gets a little higher up on this list, but don't let a case not having the camera control button built in deter you from buying them, because something like the Phone Rebel Gen 6, of course, they don't have a camera control button yet, but it's a solid case. This is the case that I can take around and absolutely trust, that I know if I drop this thing, it's going to protect my phone. I take it a lot with me on vacations, if I'm going out to a concert, anything like that. I a lot of the time take the Gen 6 because it's just a solid, tried and true case. So that is absolutely why the Phone Rebel Gen 6 had to be in the top 5 at number 5. Now, number 4 is a bit of a controversial one. Last time they released this case, it had a lot of issues. So they took it off the market and we had to wait a while. We kept waiting and waiting and waiting. And then we finally got version 2 of it, and it fixed all of the issues. And of course, we are talking about the Dbrand Ghost 2.0. Now, this case really knocked it out of the park. Of course, you're getting that polycarbonate on here, but it has an anti-scratch coating. I've been using this case a lot. This has been one of my daily cases that I've been using. I use this case almost every single day. As you guys can see, no scratches on there whatsoever. Everything works really, really well. You're getting that super nice grip material going all the way around. Reinforced corners for more drop protection. Now, your buttons are going to be built in, but they are clicky. The action button has a texture that's a little bit different than the volume up and down. It's in a different position, so you can tell which button is which. The power button, everything is good. And of course, you are getting a camera control button right there. My only issue with the camera control button, though, is if you guys can see, that moves around a little bit right there. And then my other issue is this case does not really have much of a screen lip. Now, I am using a full coverage tempered glass screen protector, and it does lay on the case as opposed to the screen protector, but only on super flush surfaces. I would have loved to see the lip on here be a little bit taller, and then the case would have absolutely been in the top 3. But because of that, and because of the camera control button moving a little bit, this one is just going to be in the top 4. Now, you are going to get really good MagSafe on here. The MagSafe is even better. Look at that. I mean, I'm shaking it. It's even better than on the Dbrand Grip, like a lot better. Great MagSafe, and the camera control button is going to be excellent as well. Super sensitive, just like your other cases that you love that have really good buttons. Really no issues with the camera control button at all. I really been enjoying it. It works well. It's just the fact that it moves around a little tiny bit bothers me, and that may end up eventually affecting how it works. So far, I've had absolutely no issues with it, but that may end up coming up in the future. But other than that, you're getting a really solid case. You are getting nice camera protection right there, so you can definitely set this down on its back and be fine. Like I said, I've been setting it down a lot, no scratching whatsoever. So they really knocked it out of the park with the Ghost 2.0. Just those other couple of smaller issues that I'd like to see fixed, but Dbrand did an excellent job coming out after all that time we waited. They finally gave us the Ghost 2.0, and I love it. And like I said, I use this case all the time, and that's why I had to give the Dbrand Ghost 2.0 the number 4 spot. Top 3, let's go. This case is one that just hit the market for the iPhone 16 Pro Max when that came out. And I was blown away about this case. I love it so much. They really knocked it out of the park with it. And we are talking about the Caudabe Paragon. Now, this is going to be different than the Synthesis, the Sheath, and the Veil. You're getting great, of course, camera protection there. Great MagSafe, which we'll test in a second. I love this grip that we get right here. These ridges, they add so much grip to this case. Standalone metal buttons, which is amazing. And these buttons are interchangeable, which I can actually bring over here. I have them set to the side. A bunch of buttons. And Caudabe does say that certain buttons are going to be the best fit with the certain cases, But to be honest with you guys, every single one of these buttons will work with every single one of their cases. But you're getting that customization now that Caudabe offers. So for example, let's say I wanted to put some blue buttons on here. I can use these or some ember buttons, some green buttons, whatever, and they'll be just fine. So I love that Caudabe finally came out with extra buttons. They do also have red buttons as well. I don't have that pictured here. They do have red buttons, but I love that, and I'm really glad. Now, these buttons are a little bit difficult to get out, so just be patient with them. They require a little bit of force, but you know once those buttons are in there, they're not going anywhere. Let's check out that MagSafe. You're getting really good MagSafe on here. No problems there. It's going to come in a few different color options that you can choose from. Everything is just great. I love the grip on here. That's been honestly one of my favorite parts. Just holding this case is not slippery at all. And then, of course, the camera control cutout, so you can easily access the camera control button. No problems whatsoever. Everything works just fine. Go ahead and click it. No issues. So all around, a great case. The bottom and the top, the sides, everything is nice and easy to be swiped. And you are going to get a slight screen lip right there, which I do wish it was a little bit higher at the top and the bottom. But when you do set this down, you are going to be sliding it on the case as opposed to the screen protector. You're getting nice camera protection there. I am so happy Caudabe came out with some lighter, more vibrant colors for some cases. And if they had to do it with a whole separate case, no problem, because I love the Paragon. You're going to get an excellent fit here, bottom, top, everywhere. I mean, look at how stiff that fit is. Everything is really good. So that is why absolutely the Caudabe Paragon had to be in my top 3 of my top 10 case list. All right, number 2. We have the Benks Armor Pro Prestige. Now, it's going to be specifically the Armor Pro Prestige. Some of them have camera control buttons, others don't. But I really like the Prestige specifically because you're getting metal buttons here as opposed to the plastic ones or built-in ones like some of the other Armor Pros. You are going to get a pretty good camera lip right there. So you can definitely be sure that if you set this down on its back, you're absolutely not going to mess up your camera bump at all. And then unfortunately, the only real downfall of this case specifically is that the screen lip is very, very small. Now, when you do set this down, that is sliding on the case, but it's really only going to do that on flat surfaces. I would be careful where you set this down, and I do wish that this had a little bit of a taller screen lip. That would make this case even better than it already is. And then that camera control button. Benks absolutely knocked it out of the park with this camera control button. This thing is practically flawless. It's going to work just like Spiegel's, just like Apple or ESR. It is really, really good. Go ahead and, click it. Everything works really well. I absolutely fell in love with this case. This is probably one of my most used cases because it's also going to give you that nice texture on the back of this that adds grip onto the sides, on the back. Everything about this case is really, really good. Now, this one is going to have the dot cutouts. It's not going to have the accurate ones, but the dots are accurate on here. I did make sure of that. And all around, I've been loving the Benks Armor Pro Prestige. The only reason this case could not be number 1 is because the other versions of it are just not as good as the Prestige. So not everybody likes this colorway. They may want a different version of it, or they may just want the regular 600D aramid fiber, but unfortunately those are not going to be as good. So that is why the Benks Armor Pro Prestige is my number 2 case. That's it, number 1. My number 1 case has been number 1 before for the iPhone 15 Pro Max. I love this case. It is going to hit every single point that I love in a case. It's going to give you everything that you want. It does not currently have a camera control button, but that doesn't even matter to me because of how amazing this case is. And of course, we are talking about the Caudabe Sheath. This is one of my absolutely most used cases. It's going to give you camera protection right there. You're going to get good MagSafe with here. You're getting good grip all the way around. This nice texture goes all the way around the case. And now, of course, we get those customizable buttons. That's why you guys did not see the red buttons over here, because they're on my sheath. These are my 2 favorite colors, black and red. And look at how good that looks. I love the way that is going. You're getting a super tight fit on here. Bottom is good, top is good. They really took the sheath back to like the original version of the sheath as far as the fit and how it feels in the hand. Before, they kind of adjusted the material a little bit. It was a little more loose, but now it's excellent. You're getting those nice swipeable sides, top and bottom. Some decent screen protection right there without making this case too thick. it is sliding around on the case as opposed to the screen protector. And just all around, I love this case. The camera control cutout, of course, you can access the camera control button with no issues at all. Everything is really good. Go ahead and take our picture. It's giving you great fit, great buttons, great MagSafe, nice wide open USB Type-C port. And now the buttons are customizable. The only thing, once they add that camera control button, if they do, this case is just gonna be absolutely unbeatable. But even with that cutout, I love the Caudabe Sheath. Now you're gonna get a few different color options with this. They're constantly adding different colors, so you get good customization with whatever color case you want. Plus now you can customize the buttons. I mean, I just cannot say enough good things about the Caudabe Sheath. And that is why this case absolutely, without a doubt, deserves to be in my #1 spot of my top 10 list. So there you guys have it, the top 10 cases for the iPhone 16 Pro Max. I can't wait to hear your thoughts about this list down in the comments below. So let me know, do you guys have any of these cases? Do you like them? What do you think about my top 10 list? What would you adjust with my positioning of the top 10 list? Let me know all that down below. Don't forget, all links are down in the description below for the cases as well as any videos I have made. Thank you guys so much for watching my top 10 case video. Make sure you guys like the video and subscribe to the channel. That goes a very long way for me and allows me to test all of these cases and make these top 10 case lists for you. And I'll be sure to leave a video right here and right there of a couple of cases that you might be interested in.